The napkin is crumpled, stained with tears, written in blue crayon. A 9-year-old girl stands at the edge of the stage holding it out with trembling hands. Her dress is too big for her. Her shoes are scuffed. Her braids are coming undone. She is not supposed to be here. She is not on the guest list. She is not part of the show. But she is here, and she is holding a napkin with 7 words written on it that will make Oprah Winfrey stop breathing. The security guard reaches for the girl. Oprah raises her hand. Wait. The single word echoes through the silent studio. 400 people watch as Oprah walks toward the child. Her heels click against the stage floor. Each step feels like it takes an eternity. She kneels down. I level with the girl. She takes the napkin gently from those small, trembling fingers. She reads the 7 words. And Oprah Winfrey, who has interviewed presidents and celebrities and survivors of the most unimaginable tragedies, does something she has never done before. She pulls this child into her arms. She holds her so tight, and she whispers in her ear, I'm going to fix this. But the child whispers back, you cannot fix what already happened, but you can help me say goodbye. The cameras keep rolling. The audience sits frozen. The producers do not know what to do. Because what happens next will become the most shared moment in television history. How we get here? Rewind exactly 117 minutes. The morning had begun with chaos. A water main had broken outside Harpo Studios. Traffic was backed up for miles. Half the audience members were late. The production team was scrambling to adjust the schedule. Today's show was supposed to be about mothers. Specifically about mothers who had overcome impossible circumstances to raise extraordinary children. 3 guests were scheduled. A woman who had raised 5 children while battling cancer. A mother who had worked 3 jobs to send her daughter to Harvard. A foster mother who had adopted 17 children over 20 years. Standard programming. Emotional but manageable. Controlled. At 8:47 a.m., while the chaos of the broken water main continued outside, a woman approached the security checkpoint at the studio entrance. She was thin, exhausted. Her clothes were worn but clean. She was holding the hand of a 9-year-old girl. I need to see Oprah, the woman said. The security guard smiled politely. Ma'am, you need tickets to attend the show. Do you have tickets? The woman shook her head. No, but please, it is important. My daughter needs to give something to Oprah. It will only take a minute. I am sorry, the guard said. Without tickets, I cannot let you in. You can write a letter to the show and mail it to this address. He handed her a card. The woman looked at the card. Her hands were shaking. You do not understand, she said. We do not have time to mail a letter. Please, I am begging you. The guard's expression softened, but his answer remained the same. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. Those are the rules. I cannot make exceptions. The woman stood there for a long moment. Her daughter tugged at her sleeve. Mama, the girl said, it is okay. We could try another way. The woman looked down at her daughter. Something passed between them, an understanding that seemed far too heavy for a child to carry. You are right, baby, the woman said. We will find another way. They walked away from the security checkpoint, but they did not leave. They found a bench across the street and sat down. The woman pulled a napkin from her purse. She pulled out a blue crayon. She handed both to her daughter. Write what you want to say, she said. Write it from your heart. The girl looked at the napkin. What she does not read it? She asked. She will read it, the woman said. I promise you, no matter what happens, she will read it. The girl began to write. Her letters were uneven. Some were backwards. The crayon smeared against the thin napkin paper. But she wrote 7 words. And when she was done, she folded the napkin carefully and tucked it into the pocket of her too big dress. Now we wait, her mother said. For what? The girl asked. For a door to open, her mother replied. Subscribe and leave a comment, because the most powerful part of this story is still ahead. At 9:23 a.m., a door opened. Not a metaphorical door, a literal one. A side entrance to the studio, used by delivery drivers, had been left propped open because of the water main chaos. Trucks were coming and going. Equipment was being moved. Security was overwhelmed. The woman saw her chance. She took her daughter's hand. They walked through the door. No one stopped them. No one noticed. They found themselves in a corridor filled with cables and equipment cases and people rushing in every direction. They pressed themselves against a wall and waited. A production assistant hurried past them without a second glance. A camera operator wheeled equipment by. A woman with a headset spoke urgently into a microphone about lighting adjustments. And then the woman saw something. A sign. An arrow pointing left. The words, "Studio audience this way." She took her daughter's hand and followed the arrow. They emerged into the back of the studio just as the audience was being seated. 400 people filing in rows, finding their assigned seats. Settling in. In the chaos, no one noticed 2 extra people. The woman found 2 empty seats near the back. She sat down. She pulled her daughter on her lap. And they waited. At 10:45 a.m., Oprah Winfrey walked onto the stage. The applause was thunderous. Oprah smiled and waved and began her opening remarks. She had no idea what was about to happen. The first guest was introduced at 10:52 a.m. Her name was Patricia Williams. She had raised 5 children while battling stage for breast cancer. She had been in remission for 3 years. Her story was remarkable. Oprah asked thoughtful questions. Patricia gave moving answers. The audience responded appropriately. But in the back row, the 9-year-old girl was getting restless. "Mama," she whispered. "When can I give her the napkin?" "Soon," her mother whispered back. "We need to wait for the right moment." But what if the right moment does not come? The mother looked at her daughter. Her eyes were wet. "Then we make the right moment," she said. The second guest was introduced at 11:14 a.m. Her name was Dorothy Chun. She had worked 3 jobs to send her daughter to Harvard. Her daughter was now a surgeon. Their reunion on stage was emotional. The audience wiped their eyes. Oprah praised Dorothy's sacrifice. The cameras captured every tear. And in the back row, the little girl clutched the napkin in her pocket and watched. The third guest was supposed to be introduced at 11:36 a.m. But something happened instead. The little girl stood up. Her mother reached for her, but it was too late. The girl was already walking. Down the aisle. Past row after row of seated audience members. Toward the stage. People turned to look. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. A security guard noticed and began moving toward her. But the girl was fast. She reached the edge of the stage before anyone could stop her. And she held out the napkin. "Miss Oprah," she said. Her voice was small but clear. "I have something for you. Please. It is important." The security guard reached for her. Oprah raised her hand. "Wait." Behind the scenes, Oprah made a decision that defied every producer's expectation. She walked to the edge of the stage. She knelt down. She looked into the eyes of this uninvited child. "What is your name?" she asked. "Lily," the girl said. "Lily Thompson." "Hello, Lily Thompson. You said you have something for me?" The girl nodded. She held out the napkin. Oprah took it gently. She unfolded it carefully. She read the 7 words written in blue crayon. "Please help me tell Mama goodbye." Oprah felt the world tilt. She read the words again. She looked up at the girl. "Lily," she said softly. "What do you mean?" The girl's eyes filled with tears. "Mama is sick," she said. "The doctors said she's going to die. She doesn't want me to know, but I heard them talking. I heard everything. And I need to say goodbye, but I do not know how. I thought maybe you could help me. You help people on your show. You help them say things they cannot say. Please help me." Oprah felt her chest constrict. She looked past the girl toward the back of the studio. She saw a woman standing now. Thin, exhausted, tears streaming down her face. The mother. Oprah understood. This was not a planned segment. This was not arranged. This was a dying mother who had brought her daughter to the only person she thought could help. And this was a 9-year-old girl who had written 7 words on a napkin because she did not know how else to say what she needed to say. This is the moment no one in the studio and no one watching at home ever saw coming. Oprah stood up. She took Lily's hand. She looked at her production team. "Clear the schedule," she said. "All of it. We're not doing anything else today except this." She turned to the audience. "I need you all to understand something," she said. "What you are about to witness is not planned. It is not rehearsed. It is real. And I need you to hold space for it." She looked at the back of the studio. "Ma'am," she said, "will you please come down here? Will you please join us?" The mother hesitated. The audience parted to let her through. She walked down the aisle. She climbed the steps to the stage. She stood before Oprah and her daughter. And Oprah did something extraordinary. She pulled up 3 chairs. She arranged them in a small circle. She sat down in one. She gestured for the mother to sit in another. She lifted Lily onto the third. And she turned off her microphone. Not for the audience. Not for the cameras. But for this moment. A private conversation. In the middle of a public stage. The cameras kept rolling, but the sound was muted. The audience watched in silence. And for 17 minutes, Oprah Winfrey facilitated a conversation between a dying mother and her 9-year-old daughter. No one could hear what they said. But everyone could see. They saw Lily crying. They saw her mother crying. They saw Oprah crying. They saw hands being held. They saw embraces. They saw a napkin being passed back and forth. They saw lips moving with words too sacred for anyone else to hear. And they saw something else. They saw Lily nod. They saw her smile through her tears. They saw her hug her mother with the kind of desperation that only comes when you know time is running out. And they saw Oprah reach into her pocket and pull out a pen. She wrote something on the napkin. She folded it. She pressed it into Lily's hands. And then she turned her microphone back on. Share and subscribe. Make sure this story is never forgotten. Oprah faced the audience. Her face was streaked with tears. Her voice was steady. I need to tell you what just happened, she said. I need to tell you because I think it matters. I think it might be the most important thing that has ever happened on this stage. She paused. This woman, she said, gesturing to the mother, is named Grace Thompson. She is 34 years old. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer 8 months ago. The doctors have given her weeks to live. Not months. Weeks. The audience gasped. Her daughter Lily is 9 years old. Oprah continued. She heard the doctors talking when she was not supposed to be listening. She learned that her mother is dying, and she has been carrying that knowledge alone for 3 weeks because she did not know how to talk about it. Oprah looked at the napkin in Lily's hands. Lily wrote 7 words on this napkin this morning. Please help me tell Mama goodbye. She snuck into this studio because she did not have tickets. She walked down that aisle because she was brave enough to ask for help. And she gave me this napkin because she believed I could help her do something she did not know how to do alone. Oprah's voice cracked. And I did help her, she said. For the past 17 minutes, Lily told her mother everything she needed to say. She told her that she loves her. She told her that she is scared. She told her that she does not want her to go. She told her that she will try to be brave. She told her that she will remember everything she taught her. She told her goodbye. The audience was weeping. Oprah continued, but here is what I wrote on that napkin. Here is what I added to Lily's 7 words. She turned to Lily. Can I share what I wrote? She asked. Lily nodded. Oprah opened the napkin and read aloud. Your mother is not going anywhere. Not really. She will live in every kind thing you do. Every brave choice you make. Every time you help someone who is scared. Every time you walk towards something hard instead of running away. She will be there. She will always be there. And one day when you are old and you have lived a beautiful life full of love and courage, you will see her again. And she will be so proud. Lily was crying. Grace was crying. Oprah was crying. And then something happened that no one expected. Grace stood up. She reached into her own pocket. She pulled out a small object. It was a ring. Simple. Silver. Worn thin from years of wear. This was my mother's ring, Grace said. Her voice was weak but clear. She gave it to me when I was Lily's age, right before she died of the same disease that is taking me now. She told me that as long as I wore this ring, she would be with me. And I have worn it every day for 25 years. She took Lily's hand. She slipped the ring onto her daughter's finger. It was too big. It slid around loosely. But Lily clutched her hand into a fist to keep it from falling off. Now Grandma and I will both be with you, Grace said. Always. No matter what. Lily threw herself into her mother's arms. They held each other on that stage. In front of 400 people. In front of millions who would eventually watch. And Oprah sat beside them with her hand on her heart. After several minutes, Oprah stood. She faced the audience again. I need to ask you something, she said. All of you. Every single person in this room. And everyone who will ever watch this. She paused. Life is short. We know this. We say it all the time, but we do not act like it. We put off the important conversations. We assume we have more time. We wait for the right moment that never comes. She looked at Lily and Grace. These two did not wait, she said. They found a way into this studio with nothing but determination and a napkin and a blue crayon. They created the moment they needed. They said what needed to be said. She turned back to the audience. So I'm asking you, who do you need to talk to? What do you need to say? What have you been putting off because you think you have more time? She paused. Do not wait. The audience sat in stunned silence. Then something remarkable happened. A woman in the third row stood up. I need to call my father, she said. Her voice was shaking. We have not spoken in 4 years. I need to call him today. A man in row 7 stood up. I need to tell my wife I am sorry, he said, for something I did years ago that I have never apologized for. A teenage girl stood up. I need to tell my mom that I love her, she said. I never say it anymore, and I do not know why. One by one, people stood. They shared what they needed to do, who they needed to call, what they needed to say. The entire studio became a cathedral of confession and commitment. And at the center of it all, Lily Thompson held her mother's hand and wore her grandmother's ring and clutched a napkin with 7 words and a promise. Grace Thompson passed away 19 days later. Lily was holding her hand. She was wearing the ring. She was holding the napkin. She had said everything she needed to say. There were no words left unspoken. There were no regrets. There was only love and a promise that her mother would live on in every kind thing she did. Oprah attended the funeral. She sat in the front row. She did not speak. She did not need to. Her presence was enough. Afterward, she pulled Lily aside. I made you a promise, Oprah said. On that stage, I said I would fix things. Do you remember what you said back to me? Lily nodded. I said you cannot fix what already happened, but you can help me say goodbye. You were right, Oprah said. I cannot fix it, but I can help. And now I want to help more. She knelt down to Lily's level. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of, she said. You and your family. I'm going to make sure you have everything you need. College, support, opportunities, everything your mother would have wanted for you. She paused. But I need you to promise me something in return. What? Lily asked. Promise me that you will live the life your mother wanted for you, Oprah said. Promise me that you will be brave, that you will help people, that you will not be afraid to walk toward hard things, that you will keep that ring on your finger and remember that you are never alone. Lily looked at the ring. I promise, she said. Oprah pulled her into an embrace, and she made a promise of her own, a promise she would keep for the rest of her life. The Lily Thompson Foundation was established 3 months later. Its mission is to help families facing terminal illness have the conversations they need to have, to provide counselors, to provide resources, to provide support. But more than that, it provides napkins, actual napkins, blue crayons, and the simple instruction. Write what you need to say. Write it from your heart. The foundation has distributed over 2 million napkins in the years since. They have been used by children saying goodbye to parents, by parents saying goodbye to children, by siblings, by friends, by lovers, by strangers who became family in the final moments. 2 million conversations that might never have happened. 2 million napkins filled with words that needed to be said. 2 million goodbyes that were not left unspoken. Lily Thompson is 23 years old now. She graduated from college last spring. She studied psychology. She wants to be a grief counselor. She still wears her grandmother's ring. She still carries the original napkin everywhere she goes. She has never lost it. She has never forgotten those 7 words. And every year on the anniversary of her mother's death, she writes a new napkin. She writes what she wants to tell her mother. She reads it aloud, and then she folds it carefully and adds it to a box she keeps by her bed. A box full of napkins. A box full of conversations that continue even after death. A box full of love that refuses to end. Oprah visits her once a year. They sit together. They talk about grace. They talk about life. They talk about the importance of saying what needs to be said. And every time, Oprah asks the same question. Are you keeping your promise? And every time, Lily gives the same answer. Every day, in everything I do, The napkin that started it all is now displayed in the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. Next to it is a photograph of Lily and Grace on that stage. Next to that is the silver ring that has been passed down through 3 generations of women. And beneath all of it is a plaque with words that Oprah wrote herself. For Grace, who taught her daughter that love is not measured by time. For Lily, who taught me that courage can fit in the pocket of a too big dress. And for everyone who has ever needed help saying goodbye, there is one final detail that most people do not know. When Lily snuck into the studio that day, she was not supposed to make it. The door was supposed to be locked. The security was supposed to catch her. The timing was supposed to be impossible. But everything aligned. The water main broke at exactly the right time. The door was propped open at exactly the right moment. The chaos was exactly enough to let them slip through. Some people call it coincidence. Some people call it fate. Oprah calls it something else. She calls it grace. Not the mother. The other kind. The kind that opens doors when they should be closed. The kind that creates moments when they seem impossible. The kind that brings a dying mother and her scared daughter to exactly where they need to be. Oprah has said that she does not understand how it happened. But she believes it happened for a reason. She believes that Grace Thompson was supposed to bring Lily to that studio. She believes that Lily was supposed to write those 7 words. She believes that everything that came after was meant to be. And she believes that somewhere, somehow, Grace is still watching. Still proud. Still present. Just like the napkin promised. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss another story like this. Because there are more doors waiting to open. More moments waiting to happen. More napkins waiting to be written. And somewhere out there, someone needs to say goodbye, but does not know how. Maybe it is you. Maybe it is someone you love. Find a napkin. Find a crayon. Write what you need to say. Write it from your heart. Do not wait for the right moment. Create it. Like Lily did. Like Grace did. Like Oprah helped them do. Because time is shorter than we think. And the words we leave unspoken haunt us forever. But the words we manage to say become our legacy. 7 words on a napkin. That is all it took. 7 words to change everything. Please help me tell Mama goodbye. And a promise that turned those words into action. That is the power of courage. That is the power of love. That is the power of refusing to let fear win. That is the lesson Lily taught us all. A 9-year-old girl, a crumpled napkin, a blue crayon, and the bravery to walk toward the hardest thing she would ever face. May we all be that brave. May we all find our napkins. May we all write our 7 words before it is too late.